I'm selling pins right now at crowdmade.com/NathanielBandy. Links in the description. They're really shiny. Okay, bye. You know the drill by now. Today, we're gonna attempt to grab every coin in New Super Mario Bros. That also includes red rings, P-switch coins, and the coins inside the bricks. Coins from enemies do not count since they respawn, and star coins don't count because they don't add to the coin counter, but we'll still get some to unlock the extra levels. Starting with 1-1, the first thing I was glad to discover was the flowers don't have coins in them. I previously played through the Wii and Switch variants of New Super Mario Bros, and those pesky things really bothered me, but they're not a worry anymore. I also love that hitting the 10 coin blocks no longer spews extra coins afterwards. This just makes life way easier. 1-2 was a really easy level. I just had to remember to get the 10 coins in this random block. 1-3 introduces these springs that made it easy to get around, and 1 castle was pretty fun too. 1-4 was an important level since there's a spot at the end where you can grind out lives. All you need is a Koopa shell and these Goombas, and I got a huge chunk of lives from this. 1-5 went pretty well aside from one road bump. The section in the sky had some pretty tricky coins that I couldn't grab all in the first try. But thankfully, the mushroom respawned so I could just try again, and was able to get them all that way. 1 castle was no trouble at all. Bowser Part Usual was, well, just a joke. For fun, I decided to try out the 1 bonus level, 1A. It's not required to beat the game with, but I figured I might as well. The bubble coins are all over the place. I needed to swim really well to make sure I could nab them all. Then I encountered the second P-switch in this level and realized that this wasn't happening. There was way too many coins for me to grab for the time allotted, plus the level's an auto-scroller which just makes things harder. I decided to try this with the Mega Mushroom, but even then I couldn't grab them all. Mario just isn't big enough or fast enough to get every single coin, but this stage doesn't matter anyway, so on to World 2. 2-1 was fairly painless, and 2-2 had a ton of coins in the sky. It must have taken at least 4 or 5 Lekatu clouds to get them all. This wasn't that hard a level to complete, but I had to move really fast as I was pretty close to running out of time when I reached the flagpole. 2-3 was no issue, 2-4 was pretty easy, and the same goes for 2 mid-castle. Now 2-5 was incredibly annoying. I had to destroy every block hopper because they all had either a coin or power-up at the bottom. Dealing with that on top of the fire snakes was just tedious. Halfway through, you're supposed to use a P-switch to turn these coins into blocks to get this star coin, but obviously I just needed to get the coins that were floating way high in the air. And the only way I could get to these coins was to use Mega Mario, but I also had to be careful to not break other blocks that may have coins in them. Overall, it was just an annoying level. 2-6 had me worried because it's an auto-scroller, but it actually sailed quite nicely. There weren't that many coins, and the ones around were easy to snatch up. And 2 Castle was straightforward, but looking at the map, I discovered coins I never would have found without checking. There's a row of coins way up here that you can't even see. That's a bit bizarre, but there we go. And just like that, World 2 is complete, but let's try 2A before moving on. It's a bit annoying since Spike Bass kept jumping out of the water trying to ruin my day, but my day was not ruined as I grabbed all of them coins. And now on to World 3. 3-1 was a nice and relaxing water level. The only challenge was the bubble coins, but there weren't that many to worry about. 3-2 went well until I took this pipe into a sky section. There was a P-switch in the spring so I could fly up. The coins were all over the place, but I figured with optimized movement I could easily grab these. Or not? Well, it turns out you can actually get a Mega Mushroom and fly off the spring that way too. I had no idea you could even do that with Mega Mario, but there we go, we were able to grab all the coins. 3 Mid-Castle was another simple level, 3-3 had a lot of bubble coins but was doable, and 3 Ghost House was nothing to sweat over. 3 Castle had very few coins, and the boss was a piece of cake. And just like that, World 3 is done outside of the bonus levels. 3A is kind of time consuming since there was lots of coins under and above the water, but it's more than possible. 3B was incredibly easy, and 3C was another annoying Spike Bass level, but I completed it showing that every level in World 3 is possible. So of course, it's time for World 5. For 5-1, I had to move slowly from all the snow and enemies, but it was no problem. In 5-2, I accidentally ran into this mini mushroom at the beginning, but realized it was kind of a godsend because the map showed me a huge line of coins at the top that I wouldn't have been able to get to easily without already being mini. So thank you, video game, you made my life a lot easier. 5 Mid-Castle seemed okay at first. It's an auto-scroller with some coins here and there, but then the end throws in a curveball with this unfortunate fork in the road. On the left side there's one block with 10 coins in it, and on the right is a few sets of 2 coins. The problem, of course, is I can't get all these coins at once since the stage auto-scrolls faster than I can reach them all. Plus, the giant spike ball is a big obstacle. So like we've been doing when we get stuck, we're busting out Mega Mario. And right away, using him eliminates the spike ball, and I can grab all the coins on the right side pretty quickly too. On my first attempt, I accidentally destroyed the block on the left, and that made me realize how careful I really need to be here. The plan was to get every coin on the right, then move to the left, shrink back to normal, and pound out the 10 coins in the block. It seems like a plausible idea, but I wasn't able to get every coin without getting squished by the stage. I tried grabbing the mushroom earlier so I'd have more time to hit the coin block, but even then I could only get like half of them. My only other option was to ground pound this block since that knocks the coins out a little bit faster than just jumping, but it also takes longer to get there. The only way I could get up there quickly was to jump at just the right time so that when I shrunk back to normal, I also gained height to move up in order to ground pound. And after dozens and dozens of tries, this happened. Now, I know it may look like I didn't finish because the block still looks the same, but I counted out the coins, and yes, I did get all 10. So after all of that, this level was finally done. 5-3 was a pretty slippery level, but more than manageable. 5 Ghost House went fine besides this one little block. As you can see, there's a series of 3 blocks, and this left one is always destroyed by a bruiser, and unfortunately, I need him to bust open this opening. I wasn't sure if there was a coin in there or not, so after checking the map, it turns out there is. I couldn't just ground pound this block either, since the platform above didn't let me do that. The only way to get this was to get into the level as Shell Mario, kill off the bruisers, get some speed, and hit the block with the shell. After that, I was good to go. So despite 5-4 being another auto-scroller, most of the coins were a breeze to pick up. N5 Castle didn't have too many coins to worry about either, which proves that World 5 can be completed, outside of the bonus levels we gotta try. 5A was really unique and fun to plow through, 5B was really simple, and 5C had nothing too bad either. So there we go, every level can be completed in World 5, so it's time for World 6. 6-1 was a ton of fun and definitely possible, and for 6-2, let's just start by going into this cloud section and tell me what you see. Yeah, pretty much all of these blocks have coins in them. There is no way I am ever going to be able to get all the coins from this. 6-2 is definitely not happening to any extent. But thankfully, we can take a cannon from World 5 that'll send us right to World 8, so we still have a chance of beating the game. 8-1 has Crowbars that were pretty obnoxious, but getting all the coins was possible. 8-2 had Skeeters that crap out bombs, but getting all the coins here wasn't too troublesome, and the same goes for 8 Mid Castle. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know World 8 is kind of known for giving us the big oof, and here it is guys, 8-3. And when I say big oof, I mean freaking giant. This level has a Mega Unagi, plus there's tons of bubble coins that you have to grab quickly or you'll miss them since this is an auto-scroller. Getting all the bubble coins is fun with some practice, but just look at this P-switch. Like, come on game, this is just uncalled for. I don't even need to try this with Shell Mario to know that there's way too many coins, the screen scrolls too fast, and the coins are on the screen for a very short amount of time. So naturally, we have one other option, and that's of course to bust out Mega Mario. But even he can't withstand the power of Unagi. He just gets pushed away and he's really not big enough to grab that many coins anyway. I was really struggling at this point, so I tried looking up some glitches and eventually found one from A+ Start where you could get rid of the eel by moving yourself above the screen, but that wouldn't be too practical in my scenario. But now I knew that you could get rid of the eel, and you can get behind him as normal Mario. So with that logic, I stayed right below the P-switch, let the Unagi get in front of me, took a hit, released the Mega Mushroom, and as I grew in length, the Unagi started to disappear from behind. And you might think this was good news, right? Well, the plan didn't quite work out because, like I said, Mega Mario just isn't big enough to get all these coins, and they really don't stay on the screen long enough for me to grab them. I tried this quite a few times and just didn't have any luck. So while it isn't possible to beat the game while touching every coin, let's try all the other levels we missed and see what's the minimum minimum amount of levels we can complete. So far, we know that 1A, 6-2, and 8-3 aren't possible. With that in mind, we'll go in order and move right to 4-1. So the scuttlebugs definitely got in my way a few times, but this level was definitely manageable. 4-2 was another easy level, and the same goes for 4-3 as well as 4 Mid-Castle. 4-4 was incredibly fun compared to the others for some reason, and 4 Ghost House had tons of room to check for coins, but there was plenty of time to nab them all. For 4-5, I had to be really careful and make sure the Bob-Ombs I blew up was on blocks that I already got coins from. There were 2 blocks in particular that I wasn't able to reach at first until I realized I could just throw spinies at them. 4-6 is another tough auto-scroller. Here I had to grab 8 red coins, hit both of these question mark blocks, and grab 4 coins up above. Doing all of this on the red ring timer was nothing short of brutal. If you went too early, you would miss a red coin. If you went too late, you wouldn't be able to hop back on Dory. You had to go at just the right time. Like, honestly, watch this. This was so frustrating to pull off, but I am really glad that I actually was able to do it. And 4 Castle thankfully was a simple level to knock out, but 4A made me hate vines more than I ever have in my life. When Mario jumps off a vine, the physics don't feel natural, and it's hard to tell where you're gonna land. None of the coins were that hard to get, I just really struggled with the stupid vines and just getting used to them. And that is all of World 4. We've proved that every level here is possible, so now it's time to finish up World 6. 6 Mid-Castle was easy, and 6-3 had these petty swinging question mark blocks, but it wasn't that bad. And quite frankly, the rest of World 6 gave me little to no issues. That's right, 6-4, 6 Mid-Castle 2, 6-5, 6-6, 6 Castle, 6A, and 6B were all possible. There wasn't much to say about really any of them. But believe me, now that we're heading into World 7, things are about to get interesting. 7-1 was a bit intimidating since you're flying through the air for most of it, but the coins were effortless to grab. 7 Ghost House is another time-consuming stage, but all the coins here were doable. That was until I stepped into this P-switch room. What the frick is this? The game basically just dropped a hammer on my toe. There's a negative 10% chance I'm getting all these coins. Anyway, 7-2 was a unique level and also pretty easy to complete. 7-3 is one of the levels I actually remembered from a new Super Mario Bros. Game. You run on top of a giant wiggler and it's just so creative and interesting. You know what? I take that back. Why on earth is Mario releasing a multitude of coins that I can't reach? Why does this only happen on this stage? I don't even know if I should count these as coins, but they add to the coin counter and they don't respawn in the same place, so I guess I kinda have to. At least 7 Mid-Castle is possible, it's just a slow-moving level. 7-4 has this cloud segment that takes you really high into the air, and I'll just let the stage explain itself. So technically, I can grab all these coins, but you have to play near perfect. And that's hard to do when you're drilling down since the controls get a lot stiffer. And you can't just slowly float down for a bit. You gotta drill right away or the coins will disappear before you hit the bottom. I must have tried this over 100 times, and I actually got pretty good at this. There were some runs where I only missed like 4 or 5 coins, but really the only true way to do this was to build up muscle memory. What really made this so hard was just the screen crunch. I couldn't see what was coming up, making it harder to prepare myself. And then I realized that I'm a complete buffoon. Okay, that's not as impressive, but I'd rather do this than spend another 5 years grinding this out. So 7-5 was really easy despite all the bullet bills, and 7-6 wasn't challenging at all. 7-7 was an easy enough auto-scroller, and then we got to 7 Castle. I've previously had a lot of trouble with snake block levels, but this one really didn't have that many coins, surprisingly. 7A was a bit confusing, but definitely possible, and that wraps up every level in World 7, with 7 Ghost House and 7-3 being the only outliers. All that's left now is to finish World 8, so let's jump right into it. 8-4 had scuttlebugs that were a pain in the neck to put up with, but all the coins were definitely possible. 8 Castle required me to route carefully since the platforms could only be on certain poles. 8-5 was pretty easy, and I discovered this random hidden coin thanks to this map. 8-6 had rising lava, which caused me to die a few times since some of the blocks had a lot of coins in them. With some practice though, I was able to do this. 8-7 just as a level was kind of difficult. Strangely, getting the coins here was the easy part. And god damn it, 8-8, why must you have these stupid freaking lava rocks? New Super Mario Bros. Wii gave me the same issue. Their frequency and random nature make this level not possible to any extent because they're constantly destroying blocks with coins in them that I needed to grab. You're just never given a break throughout the entire level. They're just always falling, and this one is just not giving me any sort of chance. 8-Mid Castle 2 was another snake block level, and again, there just wasn't that many coins to get. And now we've made it to 8 Final Castle after all this time. Despite it being the last level, there's next to no coins to grab, so after fireballing Bowser Jr. and Bowser to death, I finished the entire game. I'm sad we couldn't complete every level, but going back and trying all the others regardless really added to the experience. Out of all the levels, 6 of them were not possible in terms of touching every coin. That's not too bad, honestly. I was expecting more levels to not be possible since the power-ups weren't nearly as useful, so I'll take it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this, then you'll surely enjoy me trying the same challenge with New Super Mario Bros. Wii or New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Thanks a bunch for watching, guys, and I'll speak with you all soon. Take care of yourselves.